Hi there, Kendra Tolbert here. I'm a registered dietitian and yoga teacher, and I specialize in women's health and fertility. And today I have an extra special interview for you. I just interviewed Lauren Manaker. Now, Lauren Manaker is a registered dietitian who specializes in male fertility and nutrition. So this is definitely a bit different from what I typically share here with my focus on women's nutrition. So I'm super excited because she shares so much great information. She has this amazing book that I'm constantly recommending and that I will link to below. I really don't want to hold you back from getting this information for even a second longer. So let's get right into it. Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm
Course.
excited.
Thank you for having me.
So, I've told everyone a little bit about you, but I'd love it if we could hear about you straight from you. So, tell me a bit about who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So I am Lauren. I am a registered dietitian based in Charleston, South Carolina, and I've owned my own business for maybe almost 4 years now, which started from my own fertility journey. My husband and I had a very hard time conceiving, and especially where I live in South Carolina, there weren't a lot of resources and a lot of talk about how lifestyle can play into fertility. We went straight to the doctor, the medications, and I felt like from that there were a lot of offerings that I felt were taking advantage of people who were trying to conceive and not a lot of evidence-based information out there. So when I started my practice, I really wanted to give evidence-based practical information to help people support their lifestyle in a way that supports their fertility. With that, I also found that the men were kind of being left out of the conversation. Unfortunately, even though fertility is, it takes two to tango, 50-50. The burden falls on the woman's shoulders. So there is certainly plenty of data to show that there are things men can do to support fertility goals as well. So I pivoted a little bit that way, ended up writing a book highlighting all the data, and I've just been trying to share as much information as I can.
Oh man, that feels like a very common path for people to take when it comes to eventually ending up in the world of fertility or reproductive health. It seems like it's often very personal.
Yeah.
And I love that you focus on male fertility because without question, there's just not enough information out there about how they play a role and how their nutrition plays a role in fertility. I have your book and I love it. And I'm constantly recommending it.
Thank
It's so
you.
good and it's so needed. So thank you for
Thank you.
adding that to the world. Now, can you tell us a bit about how nutrition impacts male fertility?
It's really not that different from what women are told to do. It's really an overall healthy lifestyle with lots and lots of antioxidants, reducing the trans fats, reducing a lot of the ultra processed foods that don't really give a lot of nutrition. Um, and then lifestyle choices like managing stress, where yoga could come into play, getting good quality sleep, all these things that a lot of us aren't practicing really, really can have a profound impact on the male side of things. And, this isn't just a theory, there is so much data out there to support this. When I first started, um, what I really wanted to do was just basically make a handout showing what men can do because the men weren't wanting to talk to me, only the women. But then after writing the handout, I'm like, all right, now I have like 150 pages worth of information. This is enough to write a book. So, point being, there is so much data out there showing how lifestyle, diet can really impact male fertility. And it's really, there's some nuances to it, but really it's not rocket science. Just eating a lot of nutrient dense foods with a lot of antioxidants, lower in those unhealthy fats, higher in those healthy fats can really make a difference.
Mm. Now, how long before someone is trying to conceive should they start to make changes to their eating habits?
I say about 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
So, I will have some people say, like, we're ready in 2 weeks to, yeah, have a baby. And while it won't hurt to make these changes, it takes 2.5, 3 months for it to really have an impact on male factors. So the
Mm.
sooner the better is really, really the bottom line.
Yeah. It seems like it would be as soon as you start thinking about it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt to at least get going. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a crazy restrictive way of eating. Truthfully, it's the way that people, in my opinion, should be eating anyways. This is just like a concrete goal to work towards. But, eating more fruits and veggies and nuts and seeds and lean meats, it's not going to work against anything, anyways.
Absolutely. Now, I'm more familiar with the myths around female fertility and nutrition. So, what are some common male fertility nutrition myths that you would love to bust?
I don't really think there are many because people aren't really talking about it. They're not really focused on the male fertility. So I think the biggest myth is that it's the woman's responsibility and it's the woman's, if a couple's having a hard time conceiving, it's the woman who needs to take a look at what she's doing and evaluate what she's doing. Um, so that's one myth. When it comes to specific things that men can do, I feel like a lot of people immediately tell men to give up coffee and alcohol. And those are like the two things that I find is like automatic, assumed those are the worst things. And while they're not great for you, the data isn't really as firm about needing to completely cut out those two factors. More so for the women. I mean, alcohol and female fertility don't really seem to go hand in hand. We don't really want to drink a ton for the women, but for the men, having one drink a day doesn't seem to have a huge impact. Same thing for a cup of coffee. If he wants to have one cup of coffee a day, it seems to be okay. We're when we're getting into like the excessive drinking of those two factors, that's where we could get into some issues. But those aren't my top two things to completely cut out, which surprises a lot of people.
Oh, I love that. I love when the research pretty much just says, do what we've been telling you to do for a number of reasons. Like, we've been telling you to do this because it's good for your heart, because it's good for your brain. Like, it's not something separate, it sounds like. It really is just
Exactly.
like kind of take care of yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Ah, so as a dietitian, this question I think can sometimes be difficult to answer because we know that it's overall lifestyle. It's not just one magical food that's going to fix everything or one food that's going to hurt everything. But if you had to choose just one food that most men or even all men could eat more of to support their fertility, what food would that be?
I have that answer. Top of my head. Walnuts.
Wait.
Walnuts have specifically been studied if men are eating them every day, but about two handfuls a day, so quite a bit of walnuts. Every factor in their fertility parameters, so we're talking motility, morphology, count, um, all improved. So the simple act of adding walnuts to his diet may be the straw that could break the camel's back. So it's an easy thing to do. And what I find is when people really focus on eating those walnuts every day, sometimes it replaces those less ideal foods. So instead of having a snack of potato chips, they may eat walnuts instead. And walnuts, I'm sure walnuts are very satiating. They have those healthy fats. You don't really feel hungry after you eat them. So you may not be as snacky after you have your walnut snack where you're adding your walnuts to your breakfast, or you're having some cheese and walnuts for an afternoon charcuterie, whatever. So it's amazing how eating walnuts not only gives you those nutrients, but it can really help you feel satisfied later in the day so you can make better choices throughout the day too.
Ooh, walnuts. Okay, that was simple and super doable. And I think a lot of people enjoy them. Like they're not something that's completely just something that people tend to dislike. So yes, walnuts. We
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
They're not that expensive, they're easy to get. Easy.
Lovely.
Mhm.
Lovely, lovely. Now, what sort of improvements have you seen or have people told you about after they've read your book or recommended your book?
Um, I have seen amazing results when people just combine a lot of factors into their diet, into their lifestyle, and they tend to see the success that they're hoping for. One thing that has surprised a lot of people is how impactful managing their stress can be. You know, it's not just taking magic supplements and calling it a day. Stress can really play a role in male fertility. So, really focusing on that and just trying to take it down a notch and giving yourself some grace has really made a difference for some people. And, you know, everyone's method for managing their stress is different. There's no one magic bullet that's going to help everybody. I don't recommend managing stress by um, leaning on marijuana. I'm sure there's a cooler way of saying marijuana now, but whatever. Or, you know, drinking a lot of alcohol, because those things are not going to help. But healthier things, even if it's exercise. You know, not everyone's into breath work, which is fine. I'm not here to convince everyone to do that. So just finding what works for you and taking some time to really manage your stress can really help. And it's stressful, no doubt. You're working, you want to have a baby, you know, if you're going through assisted reproduction, it's expensive. I mean, there are a lot of stressors. So recognizing that and finding other ways to manage it can be a very positive addition.
So, you've already shared so much great information with us. What's one thing that you would hope that everyone would walk away with?
I hope everyone walks away really understanding that we cannot just look at the woman for supporting fertility, that it is a team effort. And uh, even if a man got tested and everything's looking a okay, that doesn't mean that he can just like live off of fast food and booze. He should still be taking care of himself because it does impact not only fertility success, but the health of the baby, believe it or not. You know, there's now showing a relationship between practices that men do and certain factors that their kids have later on in life. So it, yes, again, back to the cliche, it just takes two to tango.
Yes. So I know that everyone is going to want to know more about you and learn more from you. So where can we do that?
Sure. So I'm on Instagram at Lauren Loves Nutrition because I couldn't figure out what handle to use. And my book, which was made for people that were not so excited to read a book about male fertility. So it's very easy to read. In the back, it has basically a list of things that he can do depending on which challenges he has, and just like pick two or three and stick to them and then build on that. So the book is called Fueling Male Fertility, and it's on Amazon. And I'm always happy to answer questions too. People could just shoot me a message on Instagram, and I'm usually around.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being here and for sharing all of this information. I will make sure to link to everything down below. So make sure to go to the description box and click on those links. Definitely want to get this book. I promise you, it's such a good book and it's such an easy read and it's full of information. So thank you again, Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.